the news.
The news headlines in association with
Tonight on Look Up News.
Pakistani journalist met his death last evening, as I mentioned earlier, at 22 hours. By this morning, we had already dispatched our rapid response team. They should be at the scene.
Outspoken Pakistani journalist Arshad Sharif killed in Kenya.
The best way for the court to balance here is the scale, is to give the accused person the option of bond, which I hereby do, of Kenyan shillings 1 million with 2 sureties.
Kiambu politician Gladys Chania and her co-accused Maurice Mbugua released on bond in the murder of her husband. 4 DCI officers arraigned in court over the disappearance of 2 Indians.
Wengine wanasema sijui wametolewa kwa WhatsApp group, sijui imeenda namna gani. I'm the one who created the WhatsApp group. How do you stay in the same group na msikizaji?
And embattled Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza is on the EACC radar on allegations of nepotism.
Yippee! Kamata plotting at 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optivent's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
The process of vetting nominees for the position of Cabinet Secretary is just about done. This is a stage that gave you an opportunity to participate visually. It closed on Saturday. The committee steering this process is now in retreat, and the process has reverted to the back office. In a few short days, President William Ruto will be empowered with a sitting cabinet. Let me talk to you a little bit about this process of forming cabinet. Being a cabinet secretary in Kenya is not an equal opportunity job. You're not going to get this job because you applied and you were chosen. It is not about the best person for the job, it's about the preferred person for the job. If we are lucky, the preferred person will do a good job. This is also another visible action enabled by the promulgation of a new constitution in 2010. This is a process well shaped, well choreographed. It is not based on surprise and deploy. This is a process that has been well planned, and what you saw playing out are people who are prepped, people who are ready for you to see who they are and the jobs that they will take up if they get to take office. Now, when you make it to the top of the hill and you're from the trenches, you are absolutely going to reach back for friends who are in the trenches with you. You must trust these people. It's not just about naming a cabinet will look all of Kenya and represent most of Kenya. It's about the people the president will trust. And of course, President Ruto is going to head a cabinet saddled with governance expectations as found in the Constitution. President Ruto is not going about the business of forming a cabinet circle. The distraction of smoke and mirrors surrounding the net worth of these men and women who will constitute his cabinet is really nonsense that Kenyans need to get over. For me, the most ridiculous headlines that kept redundantly repeating itself all of last week was the collective mathematics of the net worth of the nominees. And I'm just wondering, at what point is the president going to ask them to pull together all their net worth from their back pockets and put it on the table, because it's just about to have a cabinet circle. This is not the business the president is going about. this figure will never be collectively counted and put on the table. Just things you need to think about as you wait for this cabinet to be officially named in a few short days. On to the news of the day. We're in celebration mode. Diwali, or Deepavali, is also known as the Festival of Lights, and it is one of the most auspicious Hindu festivals celebrated with much pomp around the country. The festival is celebrated 24th of October, mid-November, and is associated with Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, who is decorated with diyas, candles, flowers, and sweet delicacies that are prepared to mark the day. Moses Okage was there.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Actually, we are at Somarayan Temple, where we are witnessing actually the Diwali celebrations, the festival that is ongoing actually currently. We actually are witnessing behind me, you can see the prayers are ongoing. That is led by the young people. That is to show that the young people are actually understanding the worship that is, we are told. Actually, this is year 2078. We are ushering in 2079 on Wednesday. That will be a big celebration. And of course, we'll be tuned right here and stay with us. And we'll see, looking forward for the fireworks that is just a few minutes away to see the celebrations ongoing. We have interacted with some of the Hindus here that have attended in masses, starting from the young children, the women and the elderly that have come here to witness and to celebrate their festival that is actually to show their appreciation to this respectable Diwali festival. Thank you so much. We'll stay tuned till the end of time.
The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, has deployed a rapid response team to Kajiado County, where renowned Pakistani journalist Arshad Sharif was shot dead by police manning a roadblock along the Nairobi-Magadi Road last night under unclear circumstances. Police claim the shooting was a case of mistaken identity.
A few questions that may require further.
In a press conference held in Nairobi addressing its actions against extrajudicial killings alleged to have been committed by police officers, IPOA chairperson Anne Makori has said that a rapid response team has been deployed to Koini area of Kajiado County to investigate the mysterious killing of Pakistani journalist Arshad Sharif.
There is a alleged police killing of a Pakistani national at Tinga Market, Kajiado County last evening. Our rapid response team has already been dispatched to look at that matter. The name of that Pakistani national is Arshad Mohammed Sharif, aged 50, who incident happened on 23rd/10/2022 at 22 hours.
According to the sleuths privy to the investigation surrounding the killing, the GSU police officers sprayed the car he was traveling in with his brother Kuram Ahmed with bullets after they were flagged at a roadblock but defied to stop. The police claim it was a mistaken identity after they were on a high alert. They were on a high alert search after a case of a reported child kidnapping.
Unfortunately, the occurrence down there, these guys were coming from a range where they had gone to meet their colleagues from Pakistan. They have a range somewhere there. But when they were stopped by the GSU officers, they did not adhere, or they did not accept the signal from the police officer to stop, and made them to drive through. And when they drove through, it prompted the GSU officers to act, because it was so clear that these guys saw the officers and they were in uniform, but they decided to bypass. That prompted the GSU officers to react, and that's how one of the occupants of that particular vehicle was fatally injured.
50-year-old Ashad Sharif was a vocal critic of the present Pakistani government and fled the country earlier this year after sedition charges were filed against him. Sharif had worked in several media houses in the country and had won several awards. At the time of his death, he was working on an investigative documentary titled Behind Closed Doors. His death has left shockwave across Pakistani and the world at large. His wife, Javeria Sadiq, took to Twitter to mourn her husband, saying she had lost a friend, a husband, and a favorite journalist. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has made a phone call to President William Ruto, urging him to fast-track the investigation on Ashad's death and the process of repatriating the remains of the slain journalist back to Pakistani. Edwin John Mokora, Lookuptv.
Still with IPOA, the chairperson Anne Makori stated today that they are investigating cases of enforced disappearances and brutal killings of hundreds of Kenyans. As of now, at least 112 bodies have been recovered from rivers Yala and Tana.
For months now, several bodies have been discovered and retrieved in various rivers across the country, top among them River Yala in Siaya County. According to Independent Police Oversight Authority chairperson Anne Makori, investigations on the 25 bodies found in River Yala indicate that the victims were tortured before being killed.
In January 2022, the authority launched investigations into the incidents in which 25 dead bodies were recovered from River Yala in Siaya County on diverse dates. Having attended all the postmortem examinations, the general emerging trend as cause of death was determined as: out of these bodies, 12 had head injuries, 2 abdominal and chest injuries, 1 drowning, 1 had a head and chest injury, 3 strangulations, and 1 peritonitis.
Makori indicated that the authority launched investigations on the bodies recovered at River Tana, and all 13 of them having gone thorough examinations, with DNA profiling the only process remaining.
The authority launched on-motion investigations into incidents in which 13 dead bodies were recovered in River Tana on diverse dates. All the bodies were at an advanced state of decomposition and had torture wounds. In addition, 11 bodies had stones tied to them. Status of investigations are ongoing. Preliminary investigations point out that the nature of injuries sustained or cause of death point to same or similar perpetrators.
The authority has also assured Kenyans of thorough investigations on enforced disappearances and brutal killings in the country, including the murder of 11 Kenyans, among them police officers in Namaria, Turkana County. According to the chairperson, the authority does not take orders from any arm of government, indicating that investigations on the Special Service Unit have already commenced.
Pursuant to Section 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the IPOA Act, IPOA has commenced investigation and audit of recently disbanded SSU, that unit, and other units, all formations within the NPS to establish the propriety of the operations and the level of professionalism.
The members of those units are under investigations now. They are Kenyans and they deserve justice. They receive orders from somewhere. So those investigations are ongoing. But what concerns us mainly is that the IAU, Internal Affairs Unit of the National Police Service, have taken over those investigations, and those investigations are squarely, or should be squarely, with the authority, because the police, as you know, cannot effectively investigate themselves.
The authority also insisted that the investigations on the murder of Pakistani journalist Ashad Sharif along the Nairobi-Magadi Highway are ongoing. With enforced disappearances and brutal killings on the rise in the country, IPOA chairperson Anne Makori has now assured Kenyans that thorough investigations will be conducted to ensure the perpetrators are brought to book. Ian Keitani, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Kiambu politician Gladys Chania and co-accused suspect Maurice Mbogwa have both been released on a cash bail of 1 million shillings. The two are prime suspects in the brutal murder of Chanya's husband, George Mwangi, found dead October 10th under unclear circumstances.
Given by the court.
Gladys Chanya and co-accused farmhand Maurice Mbugwa have each been released on a $1 million cash bail.
The best way for the court to balance here in the scale is to give the accused person the option of bond, which I hereby do, of Kenyan shillings 1 million with 2 sureties. That is the orders of the court.
The two are prime suspects in the murder case of Chanya's husband, George Mwangi, whose lifeless body was found in Kieni Forest, 20 kilometers from their Kiambu family home.
We are seeking extension of time for additional 7 days to enable the investigating officer and the investigating team to conclude investigations in the matter.
According to an autopsy conducted by government pathologist Johansen Odwor, Mwangi died from head injuries after being hit several times at the back of his head by a blunt object. The report also showed that his left fingers had injuries believed to have been acquired during the gruesome murder, an indication that he tried fighting for his life.
Your Honor, post-mortem of the deceased was conducted on 21st of October 2022 at Kenyatta University Funeral Home. And Your Honor, for purposes of these proceedings, the cause of death was found to be severe head injury due to blunt force trauma.
Detectives have so far acquired CCTV footage that is believed to have captured the moment George Mwangi's body was dumped in the forest. The camera captures a vehicle belonging to Mr. Mwangi branching off Thika Magumu flyover road, a move they say was strategic given that there is a police roadblock mounted a few kilometers away.
In conclusion, Your Honor, this matter has elicited huge public interest.
John Omari, Lookuptv.
You're watching the news on Lookuptv. We're going into a short break. We'll come back with more.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Hi there, my name is George Washuri. I am so happy to see you, and today I am here to enumerate, to explain how we package our land investment. We have 5 levels of our property, and we classify these levels as 1 star, 2 stars, 3 star, 4 star, and 5 star. This is what we mean, that if you buy a property that is 1 star with Optiven, one of the things that is evident, the property is cheaper, is below $500,000. And this particular property is basically bare land. We only do subdivision, put the beacons and then produce titles. The second level, we call it 2-star. This is prime land, whereby we grade the roads, we put a marking fence, do the beacons, and produce titles. The third level, we call it 3 stars. This 3-star is value-added plots. We do the malam, we do the water, we do the mesh fence, and there's a caretaker on site. The fourth level is 4-star. 4-star is ready to build development. We do very nice maram roads, we plant the trees, we put the water tower, we also put a caretaker on site, and finally, the 5-star. The 5-star is premier, it's the top level. And this one, we do cable roads, we do water management through underground culverts, we do underground power, we do fountain for water, we do beautiful and nice permanent gates, we do perimeter wall, and also do install the CCTV, and the whole property is manned by uniformed security. Some of these properties, these 5-star properties, we do a clubhouse and also construct swimming pool. Thank you once more for trusting Optiven. We value you. We are at Absa Plaza, 14th floor and 15th floor. God bless you.
We go back to the court, and one here is set to give a ruling in the case of 4 arrested Special Service Unit policemen on Wednesday, the 26th. Diana Muchache, Chief Magistrate at Kahawa Law Court, has ordered the suspects in the disappearance of Mohammed Kidwa, Zulfikar Ahmed, and Nicodemus Mwania to remain in police custody ahead of the ruling. As the prosecution prays that the suspects remain in custody another 30 days, the defense asks that the case be moved to IPOA.
The Kahawa court has ordered that the 4 officers of the Defakant Special Service Unit will remain in police custody pending the Wednesday 26 October ruling. The 4 officers are being held as principal suspects in the disappearance of Mohammed Kidwai, Zulfikar Khan, and their driver Nicodemus Mwania. Some of the remains of the 3 who are alleged to have been seen last on July 23rd this year were retrieved in the Aberdare forest.
Thank you so much, all of you, for being calm. At least it is good for all of us when the advocates and the prosecution counsel, you interact calmly. But you can see you have done quite a lot of submissions. You have given your authorities. I am not going to give you a ruling on the spot. This ruling will have to come on Wednesday. Unfortunately, to enable we come up with a well-reasoned ruling, Mr. Obvious, stand up kindly and address the court.
Yes, I was going to say this.
While the Internal Affairs Unit of the DCI was prosecuting the alleged dreaded sleuths, the accused-led counsel strongly opposed the move by the IAU. Lawyer Danstan Omari claims that this case deserves to be presented before the IPO authorities, in addition to calling out the threatening of the suspects. Lawyer Omari condemns the prosecution for asking the court to have the suspect held further for 30 days.
The mandate to deal with this matter is provided for by Kenyans in an entity called IPOA. It is IPOA that needs to investigate this matter. It is IPOA that needs to prosecute these people. But anybody trying to bring an illegal entity, it is a legal entity, the internal unit is an illegal entity, but it is illegal in terms of coming to court. And even contemplating detaining police officers for 30 days just because the head of state raised this question.
The prosecuting side has asked the suspect to remain in custody while further investigation continues. The 4 suspects are among the 21 officials interviewed by the Internal Affairs Unit over the disappearance of the 3.
And therefore, there are obvious reasons that necessitated their separation, Your Honor. And Your Honor, we are also hoping that some of them may or likely to cooperate and not want interference of whatever nature. Therefore, Your Honor, we are kindly asking that they all be separated. They are within Nairobi, Your Honor, within 3 kilometers of each other, and the investigative agency is 1, prosecution team is 1.
The suspects are facing 3 charges of abuse of office, conspiracy to commit crimes, and kidnapping.
After he will hand over to the next.
Mudeundalana, Lookuptv.
That is the mandate.
She has a nice name, Mwangaza, but so far, any dreams she had had of shedding light in Meru are under siege. She'll probably be dimmed. Governor Kawira Mwangaza has accused Meru members of the county assembly of intimidation in revenue sharing between the executive and the county assembly. Speaking at a press briefing, the embattled governor said the MCAs have tried to blackmail her to award them funds without following the law. This comes a few hours after the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission accused them of various allegations, including practices of nepotism in the leadership.
Kwa hivyo hata mkifanya allegations za kwenda juu kupanda chini, nataka kuwatangazia ya kwamba serikali ya mama iko imara.
Televangelist cum politician Kawira Mwangaza is now under siege. This is after Ethics and Anti-Corruption Agency EACC poked holes on Adi Maina barely 2 months at the governorship. On the EACC radar is her involvement in the suspicious recruitment of her husband and her 2 other sisters, whom the sleuth investigating the case alleged that Kawira Mwangaza recruited as one of her personal assistants and the other as her bodyguard.
Na tumempatia kitengo ya kwamba yeye ni patron Meru Youth Service. Hiyo ni kazi moja. Na ingine kitengo ambaye nimempatia kitengo cha maana sana, ambassador Meru Hustlers Ambassador.
According to the EACC, contravenes Chapter 6 of the 2010 Constitution, touching on nepotism and conflict of interest. In a letter dated October 19th, the EACC cited the governor for hiring 2 sisters as her heads, employing her spouse Morega Baisu as a youth service patron, directing Meru County staff to serve the interest of Baite TV, which is owned by a family, directing county workers to use their social media pages to promote her political activities. While addressing the standoff between her and members of Meru County Assembly that has attracted country's attention, newly elected Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza took swipe at Meru MCAs, accusing them of intimidation.
I will not be intimidated to be a thief. I will not. Sitakubali hiyo. Nataka kila mtu afuate sheria na kila mtu atosheke na mshahara wake.
The embattled governor stated that MCAs have been piling pressure on her for them to meet their selfish interest in the name of defending ward funds.
Ongea mambo ya ward fund mumeniruka. Sasa kwa sababu sitaki muniruke tena, naomba mukifika tena kujeni na something that I can also present before people. Nipeleke kwa ofisi, nipeleke kwa cabinet, nipeleke kwa maofisa wengine.
Mwangaza stated that he will not be part of their plans, stating that the MCAs have made it a must for them to be given ward funds, just as they have been given by her predecessors, a move that Mwangaza has chosen to deviate.
Niwaambie MCA wamesema lazima ward simply because Governor Munya was giving them, Governor Keraito alikuwa anawapatia na ni lazima niwapatie, ndio nitawapatia. Lakini this time round mambo yamebadilika. Hakuna pesa nitapeana kienyeji.
The confrontation between Mwangaza and the MCAs is far from end, as none of the two parties want to pull out. According to the MCAs, Mwangaza has been ignoring them, stating that they are closer to Meru residents than the governor, arguing that they can hardly deliver to the residents without ward funds. Shadrack Kareria, Lookuptv.
Hawapendi Mwangaza yake, watamruka tena. Well, a section of the leadership in Turkana County is now making a desperate plea to the government to send in famine relief. Children in schools now have stopped learning. They're going hungry. This has caused a serious problem in the area owing to the ongoing drought.
According to statistics, hunger affects learning by curbing a child's physical development, inhibiting their ability to focus and perform, and limiting their future achievements. It is this situation the learners from Turkana County are now facing. So affected by hunger are they that some of them lack the energy to go to school. Touched by the situation, the General Secretary Kenya National Union of Teachers Turkana Branch, Peter Ewat, while speaking in Lodwar, appealed to the government to provide relief food for primary and secondary school to support the learners.
Mambo ya vyakula vya watoto katika shule zetu za msingi. Mwaka huu wanafunzi watafanya mtihani grade 6, wale wengine wa standard 8, form 4. There is nothing at all. Na hivyo hawa watoto ni wadogo na wanahitaji lishe ya kila wakati. Angalia mambo ya njaa ya shule za arid lands. Arid areas. Provide food to arid areas. Turkana being one of them. Ndio tujue hata hiyo uongozi yako iko sawa sawa.
Turkana West MP Daniel Lepuyo, echoing the same sentiments, says that at present, the situation in Turkana is devastating and wants the government to declare famine a national disaster.
Kusema ukweli, hatuwezi kuendelea na mipangilio za kawaida ya serikali. Mheshimiwa Rais atende tu jambo hili ambalo Mheshimiwa ameuliza. Maana sisi tukiendelea kuongojea, tukiambiwa chakula iko kwa high seas, itakuja, tutaanza kuzika watu mapema. Tuseme tu ukweli kwamba tunaweza kufanya kama serikali kiasi hii, mahali ambayo inaelekea dunia iweze kutusaidia.
Priska Njeri, Lookuptv.
Tension remains high in Kapuri area of Samburu County. Another herdsman has been shot and seriously injured on his way to Archer's Post Market.
Residents of Kapuri area in Samburu County are living in fear after a herdsman was shot and seriously injured while livestock and his property was looted and damaged by a group of people believed to be bandits.
Kuliko kuchukua jukumu ya kufuatilia ile mali yao. Ilikuja kuwa sasa hao ndio wanabeba tena mali ya wananchi na vitu hata ya manyumba kubeba. Hakuna chochote wameacha hapa. Hapa wameacha watu wakiwa tupu bila nguo bila chochote. Na mali yote pia imeenda. Mbuzi milango 3 ilienda pamoja na ngamia sawa. Na wakaanza hata kupiga tena marisasi watu ndani ya hiyo kijiji. Na kulikuwa na KPR ambayo ni serikali. Asiji sasa kama ni serikali ya upande mmoja ama ni serikali ya watu wote.
It is reported that the herdsman, who is a Kapuri area resident, was headed to Archer Sport Livestock Market when he was shot and seriously wounded. Good Samaritans rushed to his rescue and took him to Archer Sport Hospital in Samburu County where he is recuperating.
Imesemekana ni Astu wa Gotu na NPR ambayo wametoka upande wa Isiolo ambayo ni Waturkana wale walikuwa wanafuatilia nyayo. Waliacha kufuatilia nyayo wakaanza kufamia jamii ya Wasamburu ambaye wanaishi hapo karibu Kapuru, hiyo loka ya Kapuru. Wakapiga watu hapo, wakajeruhi kijana moja ambaye alikuwa anaelekea soko kupeleka mbuzi soko, wakapiga risasi.
Samburu East Sub-County Police Commander Wilson Sigei confirmed the attack and has now noted that police officers have started investigations into the incident to recover the stolen goods and capture the bandits.
Ile uchunguzi ya mambo ya ripoti ambayo pile ilifika leo saa hii ndio nimetoka huko nimefika nikaangalia na hiyo mambo yote saa hii iko chini ya uchunguzi, tuone tu kuwa tumeisaidia raia wapate mali zao.
Susan Jerry, Lookuptv.
Police in Bangale, Tana River County are investigating the case of a body found floating on the river. This is 4 days after this man was suspected to have been killed upon the theft of corrugated iron sheets.
Speaking to the press at the Bangale police station, OCPD Joseph Katuku said that the preliminary investigation showed that the deceased was killed for allegedly trying to steal iron sheets. The OCPD said that the police were still looking for the deceased accomplice who was still at large.
Kulingana na ripoti ambayo ilikuwa imepana hapo awali ni kwamba kuna nyumba ambayo mtu alikuwa ameenda kuimba mnamo wakati wa usiku. Alafu kuna mlinzi mmoja wa hiyo boma ambaye aliweza kukabiliana na hawa wezi na yakawa mmoja hiyo kijana ambao walikuwa wanataka kuiba akaweza kumkata na yule mwingine akapotea.
And elsewhere,
Mboga ambayo inatusaidia kwa mwili na inaongeza damu katika mwili wetu.
Women in Kapterop village in Marakwet West have embraced sustainable agriculture where they are able to meet their present needs without compromising the environment. The women petitioned the devolved units to allocate more funds towards sustainable farming and increase budgetary allocation for agroforestry in order to mitigate against rampant deforestation, besides providing a livelihood for rural households.
Currently we are facing climate crisis, and it is key that all stakeholders come together to really tackle this climate crisis to ensure that in the future our children have a good future, and because our forests, our farms are our future.
In other stories, residents living near Sigalagala National Polytechnic in Kakamega County want security reinforced due to increased crime in the area. The residents blame the security personnel for absconding from their duties.
Wezi usalama, tunaomba ya kwamba tuko na Ikolomani, tuko na Marinya, na tuko na Kayaka Police Station, na tuko na Shinyalu Police Station. Washikane na OCS, wala hata kama ni makopra. Tunataka watuweze kufanya kazi usiku. Sio wakati ndani ya station, jioni wakikuwa washatoka vile wakae ndani ya station, ni wengine wasunguke na Nandrova.
Wengi wametoroka, wamehama kwa sababu ya security ya Sigalagala. Tuko na police station Ikolomani, Khaega na Malinya. Tunaomba ya kwamba OCS wakae pamoja na watu wa security pamoja na watu wa chiefs watusaidie si kama wanabiashara.
Malo Nalando, Lookuptv.
In the day's sport, rivalry will be rekindled in a quest to determine the strongest of teams, as Kenya look to record an impressive performance in the international